including President Uhuru Kenyatta. Let's focus on another story that still touches on Somalia, and the world has got just 3 months to save millions of people in Yemen and Somalia from starvation as drought and war wreck crops and block aid across the region. That is according to the International Committee of the Red Cross. The agency said it needs about $300 million to fund its work in those countries and other trouble spots in South Sudan and northeast Nigeria. More than 20 million people are facing famine in Yemen, Somalia, South Sudan and northeast Nigeria. Aid agencies have warned cholera, which can be deadly for children, is on the rise in Somalia, while an average of about 20 people in Yemen are dying each day from disease or war wounds. The ICRC appealed for $400 million for its operations in the 4 countries this year, but has received only $100 million so far.
كل وشة فوق المقلع
This is not business as usual. 20 million people facing starvation is not something that we are dealing with every day, and therefore we really need to act now. And if we act now, especially in Yemen and in Somalia, famine can be averted. We need to learn the lessons from 2011, where the response was too slow, too little, and 260,000 people died of starvation, more than half of them children under the age of 5. So we really need to act now. I would say we have probably a window of 3 months during which large amounts of aid need to be distributed in order to avoid a worst-case scenario. So we have kind of the perfect storm now, where protracted conflict is overlapped or is exacerbated by natural hazard drought, in particular in the Horn of Africa, which is leading to that situation that we are facing now. And
the rallying call from different players. Let's now bring in Pedram Yazdi, the communication coordinator for ICRC Somali delegation. Good afternoon, sir. Good to speak to. Thank you for speaking to us on Worldview this afternoon. So first of all, let's paint a picture of how bad this is. How bad is the drought that is affecting parts of the Horn of Africa?
We're talking about 6 million people who are affected by this drought. So I think that what is very, very important now, today, is the time. We should be able to organize ourselves to have the enough funds to be able to provide food, but also water to the population that they are in need and they were affected by this by the drought. Knowing that in Somalia, 60% of the population are pastoralists. They are having their income from the livestock, and that is extremely difficult for the people to be able to survive anymore on the livestock. We, as the International Committee of the Red Cross, we are trying to assist for the time being the most vulnerable, the ones that they are in remote areas, the areas that they could not be reached by the other organization. And we have already assisted in food and also in cash, because in some places markets are available. We have assisted 240,000 people with food and cash. Nearly 150,000 people were provided with water or water structures or replacement or repairing of boreholes, because the water is essential not only for humans but also for the livestock. The other part of the population who are also affected, of course, they are the farmers, the agricultures, that they don't have any more water to irrigate the fields, and they have lost already their income. So these people are also part of the population that we have to help as soon as possible.
Listen, ICRC asked for about $400 million. I can see that you have so far received just $100 million. We're looking at about 20 million people. How much time do you have?
We should get in consideration that there is two things. You have the emergency response, that this is now. It is within the 2 next weeks that we have to help people. Then we have another phase that these people, they have to recover slowly what they have lost. The agriculture, the pastoralists, they have to recover. Then we have also another phase of recovery for resilience. So we should keep in consideration that all the money is not for today, but today we have to respond and to help the population. If we don't want, like in Somalia, few years ago in 2011, to have the same situation. So there is this emergency response, which is now. This is the next within the 2 next weeks, and we have to continue to support this population to be able to recover. You see that between 2011 and now, the recovery time was very short, and again the same people who are hit by the drought. And the same is in the other context with my other colleagues is the same. You see in Yemen you have the conflicts, you have the recovery and the work on the medical. We had in Yemen a lot of hospitals that they have been affected by the war. We have to provide assistance in Nigeria and also South Sudan. The common ground between these different contexts, these 4 contexts, is of course the armed conflict.
Pedram, your picture is getting a little bit distorted, but let me see if I can speak to you. Ask one last question. No doubt, the people who are most affected by drought and famine are children. From your assessment, what are the immediate needs?
Of course, the immediate need is once again is the help of the different donors. The immediate need is the center of that help is the money. That money that we should provide. You see that now we can be fast. We are already helping the population since January. We are in the forefront of the drought. We have the nutrition centers in Baidoa, in Kismayo. I was in Kismayo last week in the nutrition centers. 40% more children that they are affected by the drought that they are arriving in these nutrition centers. So we need the help, of course, of the donors, but we need also the help of the international community to find political solution on. As I told you, these situations are coming also because these countries are also affected by the armed conflict.
Pedram Yazdi, Communications Coordinator for ICRC Somali Delegation. Sir, thank you for speaking to World View.